loves, welcome back to my channel. My name is Janae. If you guys are new here, I film videos about nursing and my lifestyle as a new mom. Basically today's video is me sharing my first year experience as a nurse, some of the things that I went through this year and some of the things that I have learned along the way. So one of the biggest things that I learned this year was how to be resilient. I went through so many obstacles when I first started this job, and I have experienced so many crazy things working there. One of my first assignments, I had a lady who had a I think it's called a permacath. She had a permacath in her right shoulder, and basically she was fiddling with it or something, and the port that is closed most of the time, it came open, and she basically bled out within minutes. And the crazy thing is she did it like so quietly, like basically by the time she screamed out, it was like already too late. When we got into the room, it was blood all over the floor, all over the bed, and I couldn't do anything but sit there in shock. Like I didn't know what to do. Now mind you, this was a day that state board was in the building. Now if you don't know what state is, it's basically the people who come in, they inspect and basically regulate nursing, make sure everything running smoothly. They can shut you down basically. And they were there, so that was already stressful enough. Number two, the power was out, so all this stuff was happening all at once. We literally went into this woman's room, and it was dark and it was blood everywhere. We could only see the blood through the light that was coming through her window. So within minutes, everybody, we called a code, everybody flooded into the room. The doctor was in there doing compressions on her, and I'm just sitting there looking like, this lady is dead. I mean, I know you still have to do the procedures and everything, but you could see that she was clearly dead. Like her face was ashen, she was not moving, she had started foaming at the mouth like right before they did compressions. And basically, yeah, she died that day. And I'm not gonna lie, like I was devastated. I was really hurt by that. I kept thinking, what could I have done to prevent that? And you know, the port that she had in her like near her shoulder, it was a central line, so obviously it was connected to her heart, but it was like placed high up on her shoulder. And it was just, I don't know, it was an experience. But you know, I got over it eventually, and I stopped putting all that pressure on myself every day, thinking about what I could have done to change it, because we're not perfect as nurses, and a lot of things you have to learn along the way. Now, you know, next time I see something like that, I'll probably take steps to prevent that, you know, have them put extra armor on the end of that permacath or something like that. But yeah, that's like the scariest thing that happened to me in my first year. But eventually I got over it, and it made me a stronger person. Another thing that I had to learn how to be good at was supervising. So I work in rehab and long-term care. So basically there I'm a charge nurse, and I usually have 2 to 3 CNAs that work under me. And a lot of these CNAs are way older than you, and they've probably been working there way longer than you. So as soon as you get there, it's already kind of like a little bit of conflict. And especially when you're a young nurse like me, I struggled a lot at first, because I think some of the CNAs didn't want to take any direction from me pretty much. They looked at me as just this like young, naive nurse who didn't know anything and who they didn't have to listen to. Basically what I had to do was gain their respect. You know, I had to show them I was not a lazy nurse, because that happens a lot. Like you have nurses that are very lazy and they expect their CNAs to do everything, and that is like the fastest way for your CNAs to lose respect for you and to not want to do anything for you. I found that by me working hard, being willing to jump in and help them whenever they need it, really helped me with them a lot. So it's like now I don't have any trouble with my CNAs at all. Like they look at me as someone that they respect, who they can come to when they see something. That's another thing. Like if you are a nurse, please do not make your CNAs afraid to come to you. Like, don't be that nurse that's like, ugh, what now? Because what happens is when the CNAs see something or notice something, they're afraid to come and tell you about it. And you don't want that, because the CNAs are around the patients the most, and they see them the most. They see them intimately. Like they see their whole body from head to toe on a regular basis. So you want them to have that relationship where they can come to you immediately and tell you when something is going on. So yeah, basically this job did help me to become a better supervisor and, you know, just have better skills with working over people. All right, so something else that I experienced a lot during this year is knowing when to advocate for your patients. Now, you will hear this in school a lot, and it is so true. You have to be an advocate for your patients, because you are the eyes and the ears for the doctors and for everyone else. So you need to do your best to communicate what is going on with them so it can be handled. And I'll give you an example. I had a patient who started just complaining of leg pain one day. She basically said it was just like a mild pain in her leg and that it had been bothering her. So first we started her on pain medication, and that helped a little bit. But over time, she would continue to complain about it. And so we started to order tests to see what was going on with her leg. The first couple of times we ordered some venous Dopplers, which is just like a test that can see if you have a blockage, like an occlusion in your leg. And it kept coming back negative. And so they did the test like 2 more times and it was still negative. Then they went on to do an x-ray and that showed nothing. So eventually they kind of just like chalked it up as to her aging and something that was normal. But I knew that something was wrong, and every day I would go down to my DON or whoever and be like, hey, we need to send her out to the hospital and let them run some more tests, let them do something, because that leg is not right. And at the time, you know, I was still a new nurse, so it was like I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what exactly was wrong. So eventually we came to find out that she did have a blockage, but we needed to do an arterial Doppler to get a positive result. So once they did the arterial Doppler, they saw that she did have a blockage in her leg. And so basically that's just an example of how you have to sometimes fight for your patients, because a lot of people will kind of throw things off to the sideline if it doesn't appear to be urgent. They won't take it as serious. So it's up to you to, you know, be the fighter for your patient, because they can't always speak for themselves, and a lot of times they don't even know what's going on with themselves. So just do your best to really advocate for them. The last thing I want to share with you guys is I learned to trust my gut. Like Basically, you know, in school they might call it nursing judgment or nursing intuition, whatever. But definitely trust your gut. If you know that something is not right, do not be afraid to say something. Talk to somebody that can help, somebody that can give you more information or get more information. Do not be afraid to call the doctor. Even if you feel like you sound stupid, like call the doctor and just give him a rundown of the symptoms, what it looks like, and what's going on. Because the more that you do this, the more likely you are at really, you know, preventing something bad from happening. Because a lot of minor things can really like spiral into something really big with a lot of these patients. So always trust your gut. And if you feel like something wrong, 9 times out of 10 it probably is. All right, so guys, thank you so much for watching today. I wish you guys good luck on your nursing journeys. If you're in school, keep pushing through, because even though it is some challenging days, nursing is so worth it. Like, it has changed my life for the better, and I don't know what else I would be doing without it. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.